Hi, it's me again. Today is a Sunday here, and this means that it is a day off work from my physical job today, but it also means that it's still work because I have things to do at home all day long and maybe a little bit of extra time for myself. I was on the internet and I came across a few articles about introverts and something I didn't know, so I thought I would share. But first, there's a few things. I was got my trash ready to take outside and go take to the trash bin that's out there, and I'm surrounded by neighbors. Okay, so they're all pretty close and things. And a particular group across the street, not even a whole street, is very noisy. They have a lot of family members there in and out every single day, and you can always hear them, and they're coming going in their cars and things. And then I have neighbors up the streets that have kids that are in the streets, and the parents that are out there, and everybody's all social and talking and doing their things. I used to have a few kids of my own, a son and a daughter that lived with me, and even a granddaughter that would come and go. So we were kind of like everybody else, with a little bit of activity here and there and family members and things. But over the years, it got less and less to where it's just me and one of my kids, and that's it. I like the quiet and the peace, except now I've noticed more of the noise from the neighbors around me. There's particular ones that once you see them and they see you, they have to come over and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Always about something. And usually I just don't want no part of that. That has to do with my introversion and my energy, and I just don't want to do it. So this morning I was supposed to take out my trash, and there was noise coming across the street from the neighbors over there, and they're all about. For some reason, they stand out in the street by their cars, just chatting it up instead of being in their yards or in their homes. I don't understand this, really. I mean, if I'm saying hello to somebody or dropping something off or they're stopping by for a few minutes, but not for hours on end. If somebody could explain that to me. So I knew the neighbors were out there, and I had my trash in my hand, and I looked out the door like, nope, I'm not doing this. And I put the trash down, and I'll get to it later when there's nobody around. So that's something, and I've read about this. Other people do the same thing. There's actually an article from introvertdear.com, and it is about the weird things introverts do that are actually completely normal. They have one about how you feel relieved when someone cancels plans with you. I've heard this before, and this is really true. I'm sure you might feel the same way. I know I do and make plans, and I'm hoping up to the last minute usually that something will happen and I can get out of it. Two, we just have a different way of dealing with the goals and ideas. And it is hard to get to know an introvert. We do prefer to have deeper friendships with only a handful of people. And we don't open up to everybody that we meet, but people that know us we're comfortable with them and know a lot more. I agree with that. That has a thing to do with shyness too. You're not going to tell just the whole world everything if you're more introverted, I don't believe. So, yeah, that work. There was another article about that says how to stop being an introvert. Now this definitely made me stop to look at it, and I didn't like it because, okay, let me know. Do you like being an introvert? Do you like how you are and who you are because of it? Would you change it? Why? What difficulties has it brought you, and why, if you do want to keep it and stay the way that you are, why? I like being an introvert, and I like being on the quieter side, as I've said before, because it's me. I wasn't always this way my life, but I grew into it and I accepted it, especially in my older ages. It was a struggle most of my life trying to deal with this, but in my older life now that I'm, halfway to the 100 mark now, it's me. And if, I say that if people don't like it, they don't like the way that I am, then just leave, walk away, and it's fine with me. But this, how to stop being an introvert, maybe into that in a second. I am on Reddit. Tell me your weirdest introverted stories. Some of these are due to shyness and social anxiety. There's, like I've said before, a really fine line and a blur between this of shyness and social anxiety and true introvertness. This one related to me. This person says, this Reddit post is, tell me your weirdest introverted story from Onion Fiend. And a poster says, I was probably 6 or 7 and my mom set up a play date between me and a neighborhood kid. I walked to the kid's house and we played in his driveway for a while, and then I told him I was going. He seemed puzzled, and when I got home, my mom asked if something had happened. She couldn't fathom why I was home so soon. Nothing was wrong with the kid, and we didn't get into a fight. It was just fine. I was just done playing. Looking back, I'm thinking maybe I may have been there 15 minutes or so, but in my mind, I had fulfilled my obligation. I know exactly what this is like. When I was a teenager, I would go with my cousins and my friends to teenager parties or out to somebody's house, and I'd be there for a little bit, but then I always just wanted to go home. I was done. I didn't want to stay there anymore, and I'd tell my cousins, whoever I was with, that I wanted to leave, and they're like, no, stay, just stay. What's wrong with you? How come you don't want to stay? And they'd make me feel so guilty and put me down because I didn't want to stay there anymore, even if it was just for a little while. So I'd end up staying for a little bit longer, just hating it. But then eventually, I got tired of it, and then I'd just walk out the door and leave. And then hours later, whenever they came home, I would get questioned and they'd be angry at me for leaving them there and not saying anything and just leaving, and they didn't understand why. I just had had enough, and I couldn't handle being around all those people and noise or anything anymore. And I have done that a lot during my life. Actually, I have that known trait about me through my family and friends and most people that know me, is that when I'm finally done, I'm just done with it, and I've told you once, I'm not going to tell you again, I'm just leaving. And if I'm not there, then you know why. I mean, that might be kind of dangerous, especially going outside bars and stuff, but people know that about me, and it's what I do. So I totally agree with this poster that's on here. So those are some funny things I thought were cute. And yeah. So I'd like you to tell me a few of your things. There's another one here that's from BuzzFeed. That's 18 relatable stories about my life as an introvert. And this one says, he walked into a networking event and immediately backed out slowly. like a hiker trying to get away from a bear. That reminds me of like the Homer Simpson kind of falling into the green bush behind him and just disappearing into it. Hopefully nobody sees you. Someone on another part said they pretended not to speak English when they were approached in a bar. Another one is arriving home after a long party full of noisy strangers and endless small talk, and they had to immediately go home and lay in the room for a while and said that they would never do that again. It just wore them out. And another one is entering every party or social event with a firm exit strategy, plus 2 backup plans in case you want to leave. That totally reminds me of when I was younger, and I always wanted to get out of there as soon as I got there, just about. Yeah, and avoiding eye contact. And where I work at, you have to see the people that you work with and guests all day long, in the same hallways over and over every single day. And there's in the beginning, when you first get there, of course, you meet eye contact with everybody, and then you smile and you act kind and everything. I have been at my job for over 15 years, and I'm just over that thing. If there's a guest, I will make contact and I'll be polite and everything, but these people that I worked with for all these years, I don't care anymore. Unless we're really close, I'm not gonna look at you every single time, try to make small talk with you. I really want to avoid that, especially if I've worked with you for so long. And this might seem coming off rude, stuck up. I get that a lot when I'm at work. People are afraid to approach me sometimes because, not just because I'm quiet, but because I don't want to do small talk with them. I don't want to know their whole life story, and I don't want you to know mine. But that's just my introvertness. I don't want to. And that'd be interesting to know if other people are the same way. So those are some cute ones. Okay, and then there is an article about the different types of introverts, and I didn't know there was different types. So let's go over this, and maybe we'll see if we fit into one of these or more of these. There is social introverts, and this is the classic type of introvert. Social introverts like small groups and quiet settings over crowds. Number 2 is the thinking introvert. People in this group are daydreamers. They spend a lot of time in their thoughts and tend to have creative imaginations. Number 3 is anxious introvert. They seek out alone time not just because they like it, but also because they often feel awkward or shy around people. I wonder how this is how shy people fit into it more than being an introvert, or if they are shy more. I don't know. Number 4 is the restrained, inhibited introvert. These introverts think before they act. They aren't likely to make a decision right away. Typically, they take longer to take action. Now, I can see all of these actually fitting into the same person. Like, you can be social at some times and not social at other times. You're definitely daydreaming often. And then also just can feel awkward or shy. I wonder if that one sticks out more than the other ones. And the other one is thinking before you act. Isn't that an introvert too? Just what we do, we think about things before we act them out. I know I'm definitely like that. I do that all the time with everything. So, and then it says, most people think introverts are shy. but they aren't linked. Introversion is a personality type, while shyness is an emotion. People who are shy tend to feel awkward or uncomfortable when they're in social situations. And they might be nervous. They could get a stomach ache. It's like social anxiety. People who are introverted prefer to skip social events, but it's because they feel more energized or comfortable doing things in their own way or with a few other people. Now, with me, I don't skip social events all the time. Like I've said in the other video, I really love my concerts, and the crowds and the noise and everything don't bother me at all. It's one of the best times that I can have is being there, even with local bands. I go to those often to support the bands, the heavy metal and the rock music, and I've loved the sounds and being there with the people, and it doesn't bother me at all. And I'll chat with people, my energy's up high then. But when it comes to other events that like I've been invited to this weekend, but I denied it because it's some people that I don't quite know, and it's a smaller group doing things that I'm not familiar with. And even though I do know a few of the people, I just declined it and don't want to go. So I don't know if that's not even shyness, it's just color one. What are some things that you think are social situations that you can handle well, and other ones that you would rather not? Can you give some examples? There's some myths about introverts, like where we are not very nice, we're unfriendly. I don't agree with this either. Lots of introverts are nice and kind and things. We're not rude or serial killers or anything. That's definitely a myth. Introverts can't be leaders. That's false too. We just have a different way of dealing with the goals and ideas. And it is hard to get to know an introvert. We do prefer to have deeper friendships with only a handful of people. And we don't open up to everybody that we meet, but people that know us we're comfortable with them and know a lot more. I agree with that. That has a thing to do with shyness too. You're not going to tell just the whole world everything if you're more introverted, I don't believe. So, yeah, that can work. There was another article about that says how to stop being an introvert. Now this definitely made me stop to look at it, and I didn't like it because, okay, let me know. Do you like being an introvert? Do you like how you are and who you are because of it? Would you change it? Why? What difficulties has it brought you, and why, if you do want to keep it and stay the way that you are, why? I like being an introvert, and I like being on the quieter side, as I've said before, because it's me. I wasn't always this way in my life, but I grew into it and I accepted it, especially in my older ages. It was a struggle most of my life trying to deal with this, but in my older life now that I'm, halfway to the 100 mark now, it's me. And if, I say that if people don't like it, they don't like the way that I am, then just leave, walk away, and it's fine with me. But this, how to stop being an introvert, maybe in younger parts of growing up, you might try to stop being this way like I did. I actually did. I tried so many ways to try to be outgoing and extroverted and unshy, but it never worked. It would work very slightly, but I was fake and I wasn't true to me, and eventually other people saw it too when I couldn't keep up with it anymore. This article says, if you really want to stop acting with introversion, you could spend time with people even if you are feeling low on energy. Increase your sources of external stimulation. Rush into making big decisions instead of taking your time. And find someone to talk about everything that you're thinking about instead of holding it in or writing it out. Fill your calendar with social engagements and make sure that you go to every one and not cancel. And share your opinion before you've even thought about it. How does this make you feel? What do you think about this? I think that this person would try these things if you want to. I don't think it's gonna work because people are who you are. You can try to change these things, but you're not being true to yourself. No. So, this is the end of this episode. There's all so many different kind of quotes and sayings that introverts have said over the years that you can see everywhere all over the internet and in books and things. Some of them are funny. A lot of them, there's a book, excuse me for not remembering it, The Art of Being Quiet, or The Quiet Book. I have never read it. I have seen it and heard about it, but I have no interest in reading it. I know who I am. I know what I'm like. There's little things that I will look at, like these examples on the internet. And most of these I already know. I've gone through it all, man. And I'm not gonna change who I am. I've like the way that I have become. And I hope that you do too. I'll see you again later. Thanks for listening.